Welcome to the BAI show. My name's James Rankin and I am here with Sarah Smith from SBA Buyers Agency. Welcome, Sarah. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you're relatively new in the space. Like we've obviously had many sorts of people on the show, but in terms of your journey, when did you start? Like when did you get rolling in the BA space?
July last year.
July last year.
Yep.
So was that when you started at BAI or was it?
Yeah, so started BAI July and then come on Everest August.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last Gold Coast one.
Yeah. So it's just like bang, let's get
in.
this going.
Yep.
So in terms of previously, like what you were doing, if we were to, go back, even before you had a passion for property, I know you've had some interesting careers over the course of time. So maybe if we just rewind a little bit as to your journey heading into this and like how you ended up as a buyer's agent, that'd be great.
Started as a school teacher, just lost passion. So then met Jordan, started a bricklaying business.
If we pause on the school teaching,
Yep.
because that took you all over the world, didn't it? So where did you travel as a school teacher?
We went over to Bali, did a bit over in America, and then, sort of come back here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you dragged some kids along with you.
Yeah. Took Caden. I think his biggest thing was Bali, going to the orphanage and just seeing how well he had life here when, as boys think that they've got life so hard. That's something that's really stood out for him. And then sort of come back, I just lost the passion to teaching. And I always said that as soon as I lost the passion, I'd step away from the career because I really believed to be a good teacher, absolutely needed to be passionate about it. Obviously met Jordan and then we did the bricklaying, which is still going. He's just on the tools and Caden's actually our apprentice now. So that's going really well. Went into nursing because as a girl, Nana always said I had to do something meaningful. So did nursing, nursed throughout COVID, which was horrendous. Through COVID, just lost it. There was no family time. Obviously, we've got Archie, so he's one in how many days? 15 days. Sort of got on mat leave. Literally kept seeing Ben's ads. To be honest, I actually thought they were a scam. Just seeing there was a massive gap for buyers. When we first started property, we brought a lemon. Like we had no idea what we were doing. I think I spoke to Wade, told him that I said, I think it's just a scam. We were traveling at the time. So we were traveling up to the Gold Coast, got onto the BAI space and just absolutely loved it. Then, Wade said, look, they've got a conference, have a crack.
Come along.
Yeah, come along. So I have not looked back to go to nursing.
Roller coaster, enjoying the roller coaster as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've really had to fall in love with rejection. In all my careers, like you've got the workplace violence and all that and, get called every name under the sun. Rejection was really hard to swallow on this job, especially when I started, I was getting rejected 10, 15, 20, 30 times a day. So it became a real mental game. And it wasn't until the penny dropped that I was like, you know what, I don't give a shit. If they say no, like you're losing out on me.
Yep.
And that was when things really changed.
Built that resilience.
Yeah.
Figured out that the no was closer to a yes. And I just had to keep, pushing on.
Yeah. I just thought, if they say no, whether it was a mortgage broker, real estate agent, conveyancer, they're not my people. And the people that I want to have in my team for clients would say yes. Like it was a grind at the start. Yeah, absolutely.
So when you were teaching, was it primary school, high school?
So primary and special.
Okay.
Yeah, special ed.
You would have had to enjoy that.
Kids
Absolutely. Running around, doing your head in.
Yep. And I did at the start, absolutely loved it. But I also worked in low socioeconomic schools.
Got it.
That I could save every child and burnt out really quick. So I had to learn that I was their safe spot for 6 hours of the day, and then they were going to go home to the shit that was happening.
Yeah.
Probably had too much of a heart to work in those sort of schools. Burnt out really quick.
Yeah, tough to manage. And then the bricklaying business, so you started that with your partner.
Yeah, yep.
But then also, so he was a bricklayer, but then you got your business going as well to create the business.
Yeah, yep.
And you got on the tools as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and I will still go out there and assist and do that.
Mix up some mud.
Yeah, mix up the mud, get the bricks, do all those sorts of things. That's sort of, Jordan and I can work well together. It's so different being on the work site, being into the nursing sort of thing. He wanted it to run it one way, I wanted it to run it another way. One of us had to step away.
That's all right. And then you went on to another caregiving type role, which was the nursing.
Yep.
And what type of nursing was that?
So So started at hospice, which I absolutely loved, being there for patients and their families at the end. Advocated really big for people need to be able to have that opportunity to die with dignity and respect. So I'd argue with doctors. I'd look at those people as they were my nana or pop or sister, mum, and just really felt that they deserved to have their last wishes met. And then went into rehab, again, burnt out in COVID. So went into rehab. So I actually got a grad year in rehab and really enjoyed that. So working with them and getting patients back walking and whatnot, and stayed there. So didn't think I would. Actually thought I'd just finish my grad year and move on, but really loved being there for their journey. And again, would advocate quite hard. And a lot of patients would say it was quite hard. I understand you've had a hip replacement. You want to get home, you need to get out of bed. Pretty simple. I'm not doing it for you. Get up, let's go. So that real tough love, honestly thought I'd nurse forever. Didn't see anywhere else. And then, sort of COVID come along, politics changed, things changed. You couldn't treat your patients how you used to treat your patients. New doctors were coming through that were scared to, challenge the higher people, and patients were suffering. Unfortunately, COVID nurses coming through, they just weren't qualified enough. You could tell they were...
just push through the system.
Because we need them.
Yeah.
And it scared me. And I just didn't want to be involved in something that could ruin my reputation or my integrity, because it didn't sit well with the staff coming through. You be a nurse, you stuff up, you can kill somebody. Can't go back. Obviously, then I fell pregnant with Archie and he come along prem. So left early. Just said to John, I'm not doing it anymore. And he's our last baby. So I wanted to be home and be present, because with the other 3 boys, it was you have them
just
and then
come along. You got to come along for the ride. Because what's the gap? You've got, it's like 16 years?
Caden's 18.
Yeah.
And then Ryder's 9, Cruiser's 6, and Archie's 11 months old.
Yeah.
So massive gaps. But I take Archie to auctions, open homes. I just roll on in with baby in a pram and
Love it. So you saw some of the ads. You thought, hey, what is this thing? Seems, maybe it's not legit. Surely these people aren't making that sort of money. And then you come into the world, you probably get exposed to some of the people in the community, and then you saw Everest, exposed to more people in the community. You're driving up north. Wade says, hey, come to one of our live events. And then it was just bang, 80, 90, 100 people in the room. I think that was one of the bigger ones that you came to in the big room. That would have been, oh my God,
I was
this
shitting
thing's
myself.
legit.
I was honestly shitting myself. Yeah, and I remember staying there and I'm going to Jordan, I'm going to go into a room full of people that are making, millions of dollars, and just going to be little old me that's I wasn't a BA then, and I wasn't referring to myself as a BA. And I thought, holy shit. I remember coming out of that lift and thinking, oh, what am I doing? And everyone was so accommodating. It was just, in all my other careers, you've had your group that were really good and really backed you. These guys didn't know me. They didn't know me from a bar or so, but they were just yeah, you've got this. And I remember having a conversation with Dawn and she's like, why BA? She's like, don't talk shit. Honestly, why BA? We all know we're all here for the money, and I was like, oh shit, and it really made me think why am I actually here? And if I'm going to give up nursing, I need to be all in and have a goddamn good reason as to why I'm here. Real estate, was a passion back at 17, 18, but back in my day, real estate was very men, and the women were just chucked in reception. It just come back to our story of how much we had no idea. When we brought the biggest lemon, we brought the orchard of the lemons. And it was just, we had no one else around us had brought a home. Everyone told us not to buy a house. We just had nobody. We had no support, no nothing. And we believed the real estate agent just talked shit to us. And we had no idea. And I was like, I don't want people to do what we've done. Because financially it was $200,000. We were out of pocket. And we were lucky enough that we were able to get out of that. But that financial stress, it can be lifelong and it can ruin people. And I said to Jordan, I remember, after we'd been in the house, and I went, why is there no one around for buyers? Oh, there is, but I knew nothing. And I guess that was my real drive, that I just wanted people to be educated, especially people that come from that lower socioeconomic or are the first people in their family to buy homes that have got no idea. I just wanted someone to have that person in their corner to just go, it's okay, you can do it, and I'll make sure you don't make the same mistakes I've made.
It's I'm getting little chills and it's not the aircon.
Yeah.
Just because of that story. It's so interesting how you said, but why? You know what I mean? And dismissed, you can't use money, but why? We are having this conversation at the moment, with a lot of buyer's agents, and where it stems from, you know what I mean? Like where that why actually comes from. It's like why? Like you just keep going down this line of why. And your reason, I guess, for wanting to help people in the space is so authentic. And the commonality of that throughout a lot of our buyer's agents is similar. You know what I mean? They saw friends and family go through it. They went through it themselves. They've witnessed something wrong in the industry and just wanted to get in there and fix it. Yes, there'll be people that's just purely money.
Yeah.
But I think what you were saying as well, like them being, you know, welcoming with open arms just shows you the types of people that end up in this space, because it is that, you know what I mean? They want people to succeed. They want people to be there and give them a hug. It's like, welcome to the crew. We're all going to do this together. And I've found that to be very different in any other industry. You know what I mean? Like I haven't really seen it before. Even in your nursing world, I'm sure there would have been instances that you walk into and it's just like, oh shit, like, you know, walking on eggshells. Yeah.
You'd walk in on a 7 o'clock shift, already know the shift's going to be shit. And you look and you're like, oh, look who I'm working with.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, it's going to be one of those days.
And look, real estate has its challenges, but I was talking to a real estate agent, bumped into them at a cafe on the weekend, and she said the exact same thing. She's had more exposure to buyer's agents. She's just like, I can't believe how nice everyone is. Like, it's quite funny, like just the contrast between, and her exact words were, it's way different on the sales side. Everyone hates each other. It's just, so different.
Yeah. And even like the BAs that I've met out all through this, they're so genuine. And then some of the real estate agents, they're flogs. Like you're just like, you're an absolute wanker, mate.
Yeah.
And you know, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know. And it's just so different from a sales agent to a buyer's agent. I would never want to be on that sales agent side. And I've had real estate agents offer me jobs, like come work for me. I'm like, no way. I actually don't want to do that job. You talk shit. And I get it. Like, you know, a good sales agent, they do. Like, you know, I sold cars. But obviously they're there for the vendor to get that right price, and they're there for their commission and whatnot. But very rarely, don't hate me, real estate agents, do you find that genuinely nice, honest real estate agent? Yeah, they're just there for...
Well, it's their responsibility as well. So you can't, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But some of them could be flogs. Some of them could just have a genuine reason, like we do for our clients, to protect them. I've seen those people as well. And then some just don't care. Some just don't really care. And then you obviously have the nice ones.
Yeah, yeah.
The nice ones, like from a legal perspective, they're the ones that could actually be overstepping because they tell you too much information about the vendor.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, but thanks anyway.
Yeah. So it's like an interesting balance, hey?
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Like any of the nice guys that I find in our travels, like as a buyer's agent, and they give us too much information, I'm like, I'm never selling with those guys. Yeah. Like never ever selling. If it ever pops up, not going.
Yep.
The hard asses, cool. I'll probably sell with you.
Absolutely. Like, and I think the agent that we sold with, like he's so good at what he does. And I'm like, I would use you any day as my selling agent. From a BA perspective, I know I'm like, how am I going to get you over the mark because you're so goddamn good at what you do? So I'll just go to the little guys in his firm.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he's so damn good at what he does.
Yeah. And where are you based? Like where are you typically working at the moment?
So based in Bendigo, haven't really cracked the Bendigo market. Helped a young guy in Maryborough. So he brought a unit in Maryborough, helped other couple of couples in there, but Bendigo is, we don't like things new. We don't like change. They're very unknown to what a buyer's agent is and very, why do I need you to buy me a house when I can do it myself?
Yeah.
But now mortgage brokers, real estate agents are actually starting to reach out to me just to have that conversation. Hey, Sarah, let's have a meeting. I'm like, I messaged you how many months ago and you wanted nothing to do with me. But anyway, Shepparton and sort of Echuca Moama has really taken off, having a lot of interest in the Melbourne area. At the start it was Ballarat, but yeah, not as much now down there. But yeah, sort of that regional Victoria.
I mean, look, it can be a base and markets go through change. I've seen Bendigo pop up a lot, like from an investment perspective. That might change pretty quickly. Like people wanting to inspect and go and look at these properties, especially like interstate investors. I would say watch this space for around there. But your day-to-day, like obviously I wanted to touch on something before. You seem to have picked industries, not that the BA space is like male dominated, but you've had a little bit of a like speed bump, I guess, with some people. Were they locally? Like just another male BA just causing you a bit of grief?
Yeah. So I've had that one and another real estate agent. But yeah.
Got it. It's quite funny like how that can happen in this day and age. I get it. The bricky world, it's going to be very rare that you'd see women on site, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But in the real estate world, like I would say hand on heart, I would say buyer's agent, like female buyer's agents are better than males. They just are. For some reason, it's got that nurturing aspect to it. I see a lot of, it's probably more accepting. You know what I mean? Like I would say it's just more accepting from a client's perspective. Maybe it's easier to deal with real estate agents as well because you get an ego, like my ego against another real estate agent's ego, and it's just like stalemate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas you might be able to have a little bit of a workaround on that.
Yeah.
So day to day at the moment, what are you doing? Like if you just were to walk us through a day in the life of.
So obviously got 4 kids and another business. So I'm up anywhere between 5 and 6 every morning. So that time is I meditate. So never ever did anything like that prior to BA.
Is that because you need to, like after all the stress?
No, I think I probably needed to do it more when I was nursing and teaching, but it was just like Elaine and yourself really went on about it, and even Ben, and I was like, oh, who needs to meditate? Seriously, like, dude, just get up and have a coffee. But it just gets me in the right mindset for the day. And especially in this industry with how much rejection you get, you really need to fall in love with your process, the rejection, and starting the day in that right mind frame. Like there's been days where I haven't and I've just had a shit day. Like I'm just like, you know what? Today's not productive. I'm not even going to bother. But yeah, so I'll do meditate, whether it's, and then I'll get on, and so I walk every day. I'm big on that movement. Then I go and wake up the bears. We get the boys ready, and then we sort of drop them off school about 8:20 in the morning. And then I'm coming home. So Mondays, I obviously have my sales call with you guys. I don't normally miss that, but I have the last 2 weeks.
True.
And then I have our calls, but it's literally contacting mortgage brokers, real estate agents, conveyancers, financial planners, and I can make up to 50, 60 calls a day, and it could be emails as well. I've started to touch base with immigration lawyers as well, and they've been really good. They've actually shown a lot of interest. I get onto LinkedIn, which I'm still no good at that, but we're getting there. Socials, lunch, but it's like I literally has to be like timed. I've got like little blocks. I should have took a photo of my calendar. It's literally blocked in like 5 till 6, 7 to 8, because I have Archie home. And then if I've got meetings, Archie's with me 90% of the time. If I'm meeting a new mortgage broker, real estate agent, I'm honest with them and just say, hey, I've actually got an 11-month-old baby. He actually comes with me. Do you mind? And they're like, absolutely not. And I have him in tow. A lot of traveling. Saturdays is literally open homes. And I try to aim to do a different town every weekend and then go back to the other town just so I'm known, getting my face out there at the moment. I did do contact at local schools in Bendigo and just did up like a pamphlet just to more so for them on the branding side of what actually is a buyer's agent. Didn't overly try to sell my own product, but just giving people that, education of, there is someone out there. And I also try and get to a lot of women, whether it's women's shed, women's meetings, I think like BNI, all those sorts of things, just to try and empower women to, we can actually buy property without having a man. Or I've noticed of speaking to clients, they're going through divorce and, they've got their settlement money and they're like, oh, well, I just don't know what to do with it. My husband's always been that one, it was his home, or ex-husband, his home. Can I actually afford it? Like we've got the pay gap, and then if we have babies, we stay home. So it was just educating women that we can do it, and that, and having that good mortgage broker. So I've got 2 actually in Bendigo that run information sessions just for females, what offers they can do for them. And then they've got their financial planner. So it's showing them the now, 3 months, 2 years, and then the long term. So I'm pretty passionate about that. Even my girlfriends, they're just like, why? Like, I just go get with them. as terrible as it sounds, just go get with a guy and he's got a home and they're settled with that. And look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, we can do it with our pays. And I guess it's just that giving them that empowerment to build their own empire.
That's the core avatar. Like they're the people that you're wanting to work with. Like your ideal client would be.
Yep. And I found, so tradies have come to me. I guess that's just the background from where we are, and having that, being a sole trader, knowing when you go for that first loan and the banks are like, nah, man, like you're a sole trader, you're a liability. You have $150,000 in your bank for a deposit, and they're like, nah, I don't care. And you're like, dude, like my business has been running for this long. So those boys are sort of coming to me for more that mortgage broker. Who do we go see, Sarah? Who did you guys see? And then sort of coming back to me and going, oh, well, you can just do it. Actually, we don't care. Like they're great, but it's that, the women, especially with kids, like, I don't know, it still gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling that nursing and teaching give me.
Yeah.
Hence to why I haven't really banged on about investment. Don't get me wrong, I'll do it. Like, you know, and I do, but it's investment compared to that owner. Oh, it's so different. Like the feeling's so much different.
Totally.
Yeah. You know, investment's all about numbers and, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love doing that planning of, like I remember Elaine saying to me, well, you've got 4 children, so you need 4 investment properties. And I'm thinking, here I am sitting pretty with what we've got. But I'll often use that with females and families, what does wealth look like to you? Like that's such a big, and that's where I start my question of what does wealth look like to you? Because my wealth's going to be completely different to yours. My wealth's completely different to Jordan's. And I found a lot of men, when asking that question, it's all about having $10 million sitting in their bank account and the Rolls Royce and whatever, where women are more of that, you know, setting up their family, where I look at wealth to be able to just go and make memories with my kids and be able to, like we're going to America in 22 days. That's my wealth, that I can do that without having that financial strain on the family. When I was coming up with my ideal client and my why, it was bigger around about what does wealth look like to you. And I guess it needed to be, aligned with my own values. You know, like I've said no to a client because we were just like, dude, like you're not listening to me. And it's just not going to work. It just needs to align.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think you've realized that early on. A lot of BAs will go through the pain of like just taking everyone on and then realize this person's not the right fit, and it will come to blows. They'll leave a bad review. Like it's quite bad. Like sometimes the BA can sort of walk away from that relationship without being scarred too badly. But for you to figure that out now and just like, it's not for me. Like this is the path I want to go down is impressive. It's allowed you flexibility. It's allowed you to go on a trip to the US in 22 days.
Yep.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yes.
Where are you going?
So we're doing New York, Anaheim, LA.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Your business, like you're really wanting to set it up more of as a lifestyle business. Like that's the dream?
Yep.
So if you were to look at this business in, 2 to 3 years time, what would that be?
I actually got a real estate agent ask me that the other day. When I first started, I wanted it to just be me and Jordan. But then, because let's be honest, I can't take on 10 clients a month. Like there's no way I can, because I'm then not giving each client the care and the quality. It's just going to be like, if I've got 10, like I'm just going to be like, whatever. Like let's just
spread
get it
too
over.
thin.
So the goal is 2 to 3 years has completely changed in the last 3 months. I would like to have 2 or 3 workers with me that has the same value that I am then educating, empowering families and women to be able to build their own empire. And that's really where it is. Australia-wide, absolutely. But as long as it keeps the core values, like I'm huge on that. I don't want it to go massive. Like there's some BAs that are doing, 20, 30, 40, 50 clients, $1 million months. We'd love to do that. Who wouldn't? But I don't want it to lose the values of...
Not the sacrifice of the values.
Yep. Ideally, there'd be another couple of me in there.
Yeah.
Maybe we can come back in 2 or 3 years. See if I've got anyone else.
Yeah.
2, 3 years, maybe me being able to step back a little bit, being able to travel, just go in the van with the boys, go away for 12 months and still work doing the BA stuff, but having someone sort of still around Bendigo regional and being the main man on the floor, going the opposite direction, not up the coast, going that way.
That's
somewhere.
it.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Such a journey. And like, I love how strong you are on your values and you're just not swaying from them. Even if there was growth to come, it wouldn't be at the detriment of that or those values. Yeah, it's impressive. The money, obviously, that can be made in this industry, it does make people forget those values because it's just like the dollar signs in the eyes. But amazing that you've kept that and you want to keep that as you grow. So I always wrap up with a question, and I think I've asked you this question before, but it was probably a few months ago. But in terms of walking down the street, if you bumped into a person that just was thinking of becoming a buyer's agent and they know, hey, Sarah, SBA, seen you around, I've been thinking of becoming a buyer's agent, what would you tell them?
I actually had a lady ask me this at basketball the other day.
There you go.
And what I said to her is it's not about just buying property. It'd be great if it was, but it really is a mind game, and you need to fall in love with rejection. It is my biggest tip for anyone that's doing it is honestly fall in love with rejection. Have a crack. Like, it changes your life. And if you are really passionate about property and helping people, why not? Like, it's not a scam. I trust me, it's not a scam, and it will change your life. And it won't happen overnight. Like, some think that it will, but it won't. Like, it is, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a grind. But if you can fall in love with rejection, you have that passion, like, honestly, it's the bee's knees. It's life-changing. It really, really is. But yeah, fall in love with rejection.
I love that. And it's so true. Like, pretty much every single person that's come on this show has said it's not easy. You know what I mean? Every single person I speak to, it's not easy, but it's worth it. Nothing good came from, being easy, or nothing great came from without a little bit of pain. It is short-term pain. Like, if you were to say 18 months, nose to the grindstone, if that was to result in a business that allowed you to have freedom, like, it's pretty rare to get that in anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like surgeons, for instance.
Yep.
You would have been exposed to them in the hospital and nursing career. Those guys, like in the medical industry, they're studying for like 15 years to get maybe $300,000 plus, like $400,000 plus. And the money that can be generated in this business in a short time frame, obviously a lot of pain. You've done it with kids. You've done it with a young child as well, like dragging him around everywhere. So hats off to you. Like, it's such a great effort to see. No victim mentality, no excuses, and get used to rejection. I absolutely love it. This was an amazing chat. I really appreciate you coming in, Sarah.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries.